and welcome to the North Bank's Instant Reaction Podcast. It is 30 minutes since the final whistle went after a very, very frustrating draw at Forest at the City Ground. I know how I feel. I've had a little chat with Chris about how he feels, but let's go and see how Stef feels, who was at the game.
Hello, Holly. Hello, Chris. You probably want me to talk for a little bit about that game, and I don't really want to, because you will tell me as much as you like that we are 1 point further ahead of Manchester City because they lost points against Manchester United, but that will not make up for that weak, half-hearted, tired, unimaginative and frankly incredibly poor performance against Nottingham Forest. Forest are down in 17th or 16th or whatever it is, but they're obviously better than their position lets them know. They were incredibly organised, we were incredibly static in what we did, and ultimately nothing came off. And yet we had a few chances. Marino nearly scored right in front of us. He looked better when he came on. Eze did nothing when he came on. Saka looked a bit more lively. You can talk about some individual things, but ultimately there is a real mood shift in the away end today following that, because a lot of people feel like that was in the post, that kind of poor performance. And that's after a 0-0 at home against Liverpool that we didn't think could get much worse, and yet here we are. I would rotate an awful lot against Milan and pick players purely based on their fitness levels, because we've got to go against Man United next week, who will be cock-a-hoot about the fact that they've just beaten their, noisy neighbours who are fighting against us for the title. It's another one. I still can't believe we actually gained a point, but it feels like a loss. It's ridiculous. Yeah, anyway, I'll leave it there. We'll pick the bones out of it another time, and I'll catch up with you soon. Cheers, guys.
Well, he calls it right. I am going to take the positives more so than positive. I sort of give him a hug. He needs a hug. That's all he needs. I will take the positives simply because it is a point gained. I will acknowledge, of course, it was a frustrating performance and a frustrating result. But as gutted as we're feeling, I guarantee you, City fans are feeling a lot worse. They're thinking, we could have closed the gap. We could be ahead of them almost. It is a second consecutive shutout for us, like 2-0 draws in a row. But we have only had 3 occasions this season where we failed to score. Home and away against Liverpool and this evening's game. I mean, Forest away is a much trickier game than league position would suggest, and they were pretty much full strength. I think the commentator said at one point today was much nearer to a Forest performance from last season compared to this season, and they didn't have a shot on target in the entire game. We had, I think, 3 on target from 15. But anyway, look, I'll take the positives for now. I am frustrated. Gross, what do you reckon to Stef's takeaway?
Well, I kind of have to sympathise with him because he's the one who's travelled all the way there. And so I kind of want to respect the fact that he's feeling a lot more emotional probably than we are. I think the word for me was unimaginative that really popped out, because that's, I think, was our undoing today. I don't think we were poor necessarily in other areas. I don't like seeing Timber at left back. His shape is sort of a bit wrong, isn't it? I know he's played there before, but today it just seemed to get a little bit twisted.
Going both ways.
Yeah. And maybe that's because he's become more refined on the right and he's built those relationships and he's more used to it. But yeah, for me overall, I felt we did everything but score, and their low block, we just couldn't get through it. I thought Ødegaard was relatively poor. He couldn't, pick the lock. Even bringing on, Marino box crashing late on in the second half, could have got ahead, a bad connection. Martinelli first half, again, through on goal, you would have at least wanted him to hit the target. I think you just said to me, Zubimendi wasn't even a shot. Look, I thought it was a shot. It was just weak, but when he had an opportunity. So we were just lacking that final killer touch. And maybe it was in the post, I don't know. But just hugely sense of frustration, and definitely 2 points dropped for me at the moment.
Well, we played very well at Chelsea midweek.
Yeah.
Difficult away ground. I mean, Forest were celebrating the draw. Fair enough. It's a big point for them, especially after West Ham. But that's what they played for.
Yeah, of course. And we said it was going to be a different game, and certainly was. Chelsea came out, gave us more space, but Forest were very solid.
I can't remember the third effort that was on target, because the 3 chances I can remember now, without going back over the game, Martinelli should have done much better in the first half. Saka header, which was a really good header, very, very good save from Sales in the goal. And then Marino's kind of glancing header, which just went past. Stef referenced that one in his little piece there. I can't remember the third shot on target.
On target. It may have been one of those that was quite
easily
weak.
saved, or I can't remember it anyway. But I'm sure.
And the Vic chance, it kind of bobbled slightly and slowed him down. I know he looked like he was easily caught up, but he basically had to check ever so slightly when the ball had bounced, when the defender had made a mistake. I think it was Murillo, wasn't it? And then he recovered. And I know he's fast, but I think had the ball fallen more kindly to Vic for him to run onto, then it would have given him a little head start. So unlucky, that one.
Yeah,
a great tackle.
Yeah, I don't blame him for that. He got a shot away. It was just blocked. It was at no point, as you say, did he have the ball under control. Henry might have done better there, but that's Henry. I think Gyökeres was okay with that one. I don't think any of our players kind of imposed themselves on the game. Rice was good. Zubimendi was busy. Eze came on for Erdegaard, didn't do anything. Marino had the kind of biggest impact as a sub, perhaps. Could have scored. Did you think it was a penalty?
Yeah, with the Arsenal cap off, you've seen them given for less. He cuffed it back into it was like an instinctive thing. I don't know what he was thinking, but he basically cuffed it back into play. And it's not as if the ball hit him. He moved his arm and cuffed it. So for me, that's a penalty.
When I saw the replay, I thought that's a penalty. Yeah, that was my instincts, and that's maybe with my Arsenal cap on, but I just thought it was a penalty. Much in the same way, when I saw the replay of Dallow's challenge on Doku in the earlier Manchester derby, I thought, that's a red card, like all day long. I could not believe that was I'll take those two. VAR decisions. They kind of equal themselves out a little bit, perhaps. But okay. So team news. I like you. I don't want Timber playing at left back often at all. It was nice to see Mosquera back on the bench. We will do a more in-depth pod tomorrow where we'll look ahead at the Inter game on Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't know what day it is. I think it's Wednesday, isn't it? Inter away.
Yeah, I think so.
We'll do it, and we'll have a look at what teams. I know Stef in his piece there wants a lot of rotation, a lot of resting ahead of that game. I'm completely on that page as well. For me, the Man United game is far more important than the than the Inter game. City have to go to Bodo Glimt in Norway, and they're only 1 point above the eighth spot line. So there were 2 games left. So they're going to need to pull a result there. So they'll have to go strong in that. But they're home against Wolves at the weekend. Now, we know from experience that just because you're home against Wolves and they're bottom, that doesn't mean it's going to be a gimme. And the form City are on, that's 4 games without a win now. That's in those 4 games, they've scored 1 goal and it was a penalty.
Yeah.
And again, we're 7 points clear and 1 game closer to the title.
The Holy Grail.
I know it's frustrating that it could be 9 points, but City could have. I mean, City didn't deserve anything from today's game, but they could have won any of the previous 3 games if they'd been a bit more clinical. In front of goal, and they've got the world's best striker playing for them.
Yeah.
But we'll any.
I would just say there's a sense, I guess, from the fan base and I understand it, is that we've come so close over the past few seasons, and when we do have a couple of draws like we've just had, it can really feed into that thing of here we go again. And I'm sure everyone outside Arsenal circles will be calling us bottlers already. I just think we've got to keep a level head, as emotional as it may be. And as much as I was going to give Max a kicking earlier, I didn't. I kept him intact. It is frustrating, but we as supporters, especially the match goers, we've just got to really get behind them on the United game. Inter Milan is Tuesday, by the way. So we do have an extra day to prepare for United, which I guess is a good thing.
Stef sent us a message on WhatsApp. Chris, can you read it and make sense of it? I'll just reference Patreon. Some of our Patreon, we've had the live match chat on Patreon, and there's a couple of comments that I'm going to use tomorrow, which are quite funny, about winning the league the hard way, a la Arsenal style, as opposed to taking a nice comfy 9-point lead today and so on. But I'll mention one of Ben's comments today, and I quite like it because it speaks to my fear. He says, I don't see us winning next Sunday. That's United.
Oh, no.
So I'll enjoy the 7-point lead while I can. I think that is my philosophy for the day.
Oh,
Have
dear.
you?
Yeah. So basically this message is from Archer on, I'm imagining this is, I can't see
Instagram,
what
I think.
Is it Insta? Archer's
this
_
is two old people
adventures.
looking at...
Okay, yeah, squinting into the light.
Yeah.
So I know this is last minute, but any chance of a shout out to wish Mark a happiest 40th birthday for Monday? I can't put it in Patreon as he's writing in the chat, so maybe this is his partner, I don't know, but certainly from all of us, happy 40th. I'm sorry Arsenal couldn't have made it even happier for you, Mark, but keep writing in, mate.
But Mark, we have got a 7-point lead for now. I know Villa play Everton tomorrow, and that 7-point lead might be cut somewhat, but yeah, anyway. Right, anything else to say? We'll revisit this game and look ahead to Inter Milan in more detail tomorrow. Don't take your frustration out on anybody or any gnomes either. It's all good. One game closer to the league title, 16 to go, we're 7 points clear. You'd have taken this if offered a few weeks ago, let alone at the start of the season. So have a great weekend, folks, and we'll catch up again tomorrow evening at some point. Bye-bye.
Safe home, Steph.
Indeed.
The North Bank, an Arsenal podcast. Subscribe, rate and review on your app, and find us on your socials at North Bank Pod. Email hello@thenorthbankafc.com and check out our website, thenorthbankafc.com. Produced by the Podcast Company.